forward. So I don't know, Miss Ruth Ann or Miss Linda. Miss Linda may not be back yet.
Yes, I am.
Okay. If you heard me tell Jamie that our last class, like this is week 14, there's 16 weeks in these classes. So the last class is December 5th. And then we'll have a new set of classes starting January 9th.
Okay.
January the 9th.
And so that's a Tuesday, and it will, as far as I'm aware of and I'm okay with it, we keep the same times. That's how I planned on setting it up. Unless somebody tells me otherwise. That's what we're going to go with. I know at one time we had tried to do like a beginner class and one like more of an advanced class. And that didn't work out because there wasn't enough people who wanted to take the advanced class. There were more people that wanted to take the beginner class. You can stay in beginner class until the end of time. You never have to go to an advanced class. So just because you've been through the 16 weeks multiple times, that doesn't mean that you have to move on. So that's kind of the beauty of Tai Chi is, it's a journey and there's no rush. It's a journey. There's no hurry in trying to get to the next steps. I've said before, I've had classes, in-person classes, that we just did the warm-ups. Back then it was 12 weeks of class. We only did the warm-ups. And then closer to the end, I think we kind of dabbled in waving hands in clouds. We kind of skipped commencement. Certainly we talked about open and close because that's one that kind of go, yes, I can do one. If I can't do any of them, I can do one with waving hands and clouds. But that's the thing, is we don't have to be in a hurry. We can sit even with the warm-ups and just really get better at them and just learn them to where we could do them without even thinking about it. And that's when you can really start to experience the internal principle of Tai Chi. And that's just that quietness that happens inside, just because you know it, and you can just breathe and move slowly. You're not thinking about what's next because you know it. And that's a whole different level of knowing your Tai Chi. So just never, ever, ever, ever feel like you need to keep moving forward and do more. That's just not what we're here for. We're here to make the most of what we're doing right now. So let's get started by opening and closing our hands.
Are we going to sit down?
Do you want to sit down today, Linda, Miss Ruth Ann? Y'all want to sit down?
It's okay with me.
Okay. You want to sit down, Miss Ruth Ann? Let me get my chair.
Yes.
I got my chair right here.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Just my camera just a little bit. I like the seated version. It gives us the opportunity to experience it in a different way. When we warm up, standing, I was just marching in place, but we can march in place with our feet. We can tap our heel out forward. We can tap our heel and tap our toe. We're just trying to get circulation going in our body to get our bodies warmed up. So open and closing our hands, pumping our elbows. I just wouldn't go too high with the knee just because it's kind of an awkward position to be in. Just the whole point here is to get our bodies warmed up. I think it's probably easier to tap our heels out and in like this. If you feel comfortable doing that seated in your chair. We're trying to have that nice stable stance, even in a seated position, we're trying to remind ourselves to have that upright posture. And so depending on your chair, this may make you slip out. And so if that we don't want you to fall out your chair. So simply tapping your heel and lifting your foot just barely off the floor, or just tapping your toe and heel, that's going to get those muscles all warmed up and ready for activity. All right, so let's start with our neck stretch. Again, put those feet about shoulder width apart. Nice, good posture. Our hands are to the side. We bring our hands up, palms down, towards our chin and chest. Push away and follow those hands all the way down. Our chin goes to our chest. You should feel a stretch in the back of your neck, quite possibly the top of your back, because all those muscles are connected. Don't forget to breathe. I like to inhale as I come up and then just exhale whenever I feel ready. Other neck exercise, we start out that same way. We drop one hand to our hips or our lap in this case. Following the other hand as we look towards the shoulder, keeping this shoulder back, and you feel a more complete stretch. Switch. Side to side. This one feels so good to me, just stretching that neck. Hands to our side, let's roll those shoulders. Small circle forward. And then roll those shoulders back. Hopefully that feels like a nice little massage.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
Continuing to breathe. Now let's do that big shoulder circle, palms up and push down. One thing I like about seated is that I can close my eyes and I know I'm safe in this chair. I'm not going to fall out. I generally don't close my eyes when I stand up. There's so many variables. But that's one of those stretches where you can really breathe. You can think about gentle resistance as you push your hands up and push your hands down. Inhale as you come up and exhale as you push down. So, you can use just this one simple movement and incorporate the principles and just experience it in a different way. Just breathing allows your body to relax. Technically, it's for our shoulders, but it can be for so much more. Next is for our spine, which involves us to hold our ball. We push one hand down towards the ground, keeping a soft bend in our elbow. The other comes up and pushes up at the same time, stretching that spine. Come to center, switch. center, and switch. With breathing, I like to inhale as I come to my ball and exhale as I separate. Again, reminding you to not completely straighten your arms, to keep that soft bend in your arm. Come back to your ball. Now let's take it from side to side, stopping just above that leg. Call it staying within our frame. We're not going, we're just going on a short trip. We're not going as far as we can. If we were to go too far, we'd fall out of our chair, twist our back. So it really is just a short trip side to side. Just inhale naturally and exhale. So there was our upper body warm-up stretches. What was happening with our legs that whole time? Well, it could be a couple different things. One, your legs could just be sitting there. You're not engaging your legs. They're just connected to the ground. You're not pushing into the floor. You're not doing anything. Or you could push one leg, release, push the other leg as you go through the movements of our upper body stretches. And that just engages your leg muscles. So either one is a great choice. You're going to have a lot of opportunity to push your feet into the floor in this next part of our stretches. So if you just simply let your feet be connected to the ground in our upper body stretches, that's enough. So now for our hips, the first one we do is place our heel forward and we put our hands back. Now to me, it's easier to move this leg if this one is a little bit pushed into the floor. It kind of grounds us. Now switch, push this one into the floor and the other heel goes out. So this is almost that movement that we were doing whenever we were marching in place, placing that heel out and bringing it back. My sweet son is calling me. He's not used to my schedule. He's home for Thanksgiving. My knees are popping. I don't know if y'all's are, but mine are.
You need to take that, you better take it.
I'm gonna text him real quick and tell him I'm in class. Good. Me and him have a date tonight. Do you want me to tell you what we're doing? He got caught speeding back in, I can't remember if it was June or so. It was after school. And the sheriff is letting him take a class and they're going to drop it.
Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
He probably doesn't want to take the class, but I'm glad he's going to get it dropped.
Yeah.
Me too. And a parent has to go with him, even though he's 19 years old.
Oh, okay.
So I'm the lucky one.
Yeah. Usually the moms are.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. I was like, this wasn't even up for a discussion. It was just like understood that I was going. But that's okay. I'm not upset about it. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to classes in school. I like to go to them and learn. I don't like to be home after dark, but I do like to learn. So I'm probably the best choice to go anyway, because I'll probably enjoy it.
Probably will.
I always find it interesting how a person can drive for whatever 45 minus 16 is, however many years that is, and still learn rules about driving.
Mhm.
See what he said. He said him and his friend were going to stop by and say hey. All right, so we were at technically that's the hip warm up, but I always feel like it's a little more for your knee than anything whenever we do that. But the other one that's for our hips, it definitely is for your hips. And that's the one where you lay your knee out to the side and you really feel a stretch in that hip flexor. And that's a good time to push the opposite leg into the floor and it grounds you. Or if you want to keep it loose and just focus on the stretch, it's just whatever you want to get out of the movement. I'm experiencing it both ways right now. And I kind of like it without worrying about being grounded. Okay, yes, my foot is planted on the ground, but I'm not pushing it. My focus is more on this stretch of my hip flexor as I lay my knee out. Remember, those hands get pushed to the side, opposite of the knee that's laying out. That definitely stretches those hips, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Really feels good. Now I'm just going side to side, stretching that hip. I need to tell Patrick to stop avoiding cleaning his car. Stop avoiding cleaning your car, son. He told me last night it doesn't matter if his car is clean or not.
That's a teenage for you.
You want me to tell you how many dollar bills he has in that car?
Go tell him.
He said I'm not. Oh, God love him. Okay. So now we'll get to our actual knees. And this is where we can hold our fist, loose fist. Remember, we don't squeeze our hands. And we can tap our toe out and punch opposite foot out. No, wait. Punch our fist and tap the opposite toe out and bring it back. I find it much easier to plant the opposite leg into the floor on this one. And I'm just placing my leg out there. The next one that we do, we're going to place our heel out. Heel. Bring it back. Heel. And you'll notice if you push that opposite leg into the floor, it makes this movement so much easier.
I can tell I didn't get my practice.
It's this opposite thing that it just throws you off, doesn't it? Not you, but just in general, doing something with your foot and doing something with your hands at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just, it just boggles your mind. So
Yes.
remember, we talked about how if you want to just keep those loose fists, tap, and then you can punch, bring it back, tap, bring it back, punch. So you can do every other one, and then you're not having to do it at the same time. So that may be helpful. or to do nothing with your hands at all as you tap each one, doing a total of 6 or 3 for each side. And then do your punches. So you can break it up and do it in different ways that you may feel more comfortable doing. So, but that heel out there, man, it just really engages a lot of those muscles in your leg by pushing your heel out there. Again, this is technically for your knees, but it's just almost like a whole leg warm up and a stretch. You feel stretch in the front part of your shin and the back part of your calves with that movement. So next is for our ankles, and this is where I tell y'all to kind of scoot back in your chair to let your chair support the top part of your legs, your thighs. And you can even lean back a little bit in your chair so that it supports you as you heel toe in the air. You can do 1 foot at a time. Heel toe. And then our other one is big toe, little toe. But you can almost do your foot like a windshield wiper, kind of like back and forth. Or you can roll your foot in a circle and roll your foot the other way, counterclockwise and clockwise. Little toe, big toe in the air, or like I said, windshield wipers. You can do a lot more movements when you're seated to stretch out your ankles because your body is supported and you don't have to worry about balance. And anything that you do that moves that joint, and that's a ball and socket joint, so it moves all the way around. It's not like your knees and your elbows that are a hinge joint that only move this one way. So any type of movement is going to help improve the mobility of that joint. It's going to help reduce tension. And, you know, we kind of forget about our ankles because they're, you know, way down there. They're farthest from our eyes. But we know that if we have nice, strong ankles, ankles that move easily, then it helps support our balance better. So if we catch ourselves, you know, on an uneven ground, then we have a better chance of keeping ourselves from falling if that ankle joint is in the best way it can be. All right, so that is all of our warm-up stretches. Now remember, if you just follow the principles, doing those movements slow, smooth, and continuous, thinking about gentle resistance where it best applies, keeping that nice upright posture, weight transferring by pushing those feet into the floor, not straightening out your joints, whether it be your knees or your elbows, that can help that good energy flow with the open joints. And then if you can do it where it's quiet, then that's that internal mental quietness that Tai Chi gives us. So you can do those with the warm-ups and have a full Tai Chi experience. But we can also do our part 1 movement seated. So we want to have our good posture, our feet grounded into the floor. Before we go on to our basic 6, are there any questions that you have about any of those warm-ups?
No.
No, I
So,
don't have it.
we do 2 for our neck, 2 for our shoulders, 2 for our spine, 2 for our hips, 2 for our knees, and 2 for our ankles. So I start at the top and I go all the way to the bottom. So if you're ever doing it on your own, of course, y'all have handbooks and papers and posters and whatever all I've sent y'all that can be the brain for you. But that's generally what I do, is go from head to toe. All right, so let's start with commencement. So commencement starts with our hands to our side. Remember, our hands face each other the whole time. We bring our hands up. Remember, we only go as high as our shoulders, and we bring our hands down and pull our hands in, up, go out, and bring back in. So you see my wrist, it moved a little bit. When I brought my hands up, my fingers were pointed toward the ground. When I brought my hands down, they're pointed more towards the ceiling. In, up, out. My fingers are pointed away from me. And when I bring them back in, I turn them up to face towards the ceiling. And that gets me ready for open and close. All right, so let's do commencement and open and close. And commence. Up, down, in, up, out, back in, open and close. Again. I'm just breathing throughout that movement as I come up, down, in, up, out, in, open and close. Again, commence. Again, commence. Open, close. I'm going to turn my chair to the side so you can just see how my structure is on my chair, my posture, and also just how far my hands are from my body as I come up, down, in, up, out, and back in. Open, close. I'm going to do it a couple more times. Commence. Open, close. One more time. You feel good about those first two?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Next, we have single whip. So single whip. Our hands are coming from here, from open and close. We push our hands away from us, then turn our palms, and then we separate them, and our eyes follow. Just say one of the hands. Push, turn, separate. To me, it's harder when we're doing it seated to remember which hand to follow, because when we're standing, the foot that steps out, which in the first waving hands in clouds is our it's our right foot. Shift left, step right. You know, I'm telling lies right here, so that's my confusion. Shift, step, adjust weight, push, turn, separate, eyes follow your left hand. So when you are standing and you step out, then that cues you as to which hand to look at. So I always find it harder when I sit to remember, oh no, which hand am I supposed to look at? Especially when I'm used to telling y'all lies and I don't know what in the heck I'm doing when I'm seated. So if you look at one hand, look at the other hand the next time we do single whip. But if you want to do it, do what? You start telling lies and you just dig yourself deeper and deeper and deeper. You don't know what you're into now. But I do know that we, in real Tai Chi, not telling lies, we do go to the right first. And we step out. I said I thought I had it figured out. Shift, step, that's the right way. We step right and then we follow our left hand. So when we're seated and we're telling lies, we follow our right hand, which y'all think is our left hand because it's mirror image. See, you say follow one hand and then follow the other one next. Push, turn, separate. Eyes follow the left hand. That's what you do, is your eyes follow the left hand. Coming from open and close, we go into our single whip. Push out, turn, separate, eyes follow that left hand. But don't forget to keep moving that right hand so you completely open that chest and you'll feel that nice stretch in your back as well. So it's push, turn your hands, separate, eyes follow your left hand. So then we do waving hands and clouds. And we start our first turn by going to the left. So push, turn, separate. Here, we start by going to the left. Switch our hands, turn. That's the right. Switch, turn. Can we not talk about left and right? Who's in charge here? Teacher. Oh goodness, left and right has got me all messed up. Push, turn, separate. Stump. Switch. Okay, so this gets us started for waving hands and clouds. So my left hand is down by my hip, almost just sitting on my lap. My right hand is cross-body, almost like a sash. And we turn our torso. And when we get just above that leg, we bring the hand down and bring the other hand up. Oh gosh, Linda must have dropped out. All right, maybe she'll be back. We bring the left hand up like a sash, and we turn. So that's two. Bring it down to our lap. Bring the right hand up and turn. Down.
I hear you, but I don't see you.
You don't see me?
No.
Huh. Click. If you touch your screen, what happens?
No, it goes back to the okay.
And I can't see you because your video isn't on.
Well, I've tapped it.
Let's see what happens. And you left and came back in. I'm not sure if you don't.
Got now is exercises up on the screen. It says, it's the different exercises.
Do you have any advice, Miss Ruth Ann?
No, I can have everything at the bottom. Okay. She can't come in.
She's in, but she doesn't have my video.
Oh, I don't
She
know.
hears me, but she can't see me.
Did she match her video?
Yeah, I did everything that it told me to do, and it's not coming back up.
Hmm.
I
Let's
don't
see.
know.
Let me put you in. I put her in the waiting room. Oh gosh, now I don't know where's the waiting room. Oh gosh, I lost her, Miss Ruth Ann.
I don't
Oh
know.
no. Oh gosh, I done lost her.
Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh, I done messed up. Oh wait, here she is. Admit. Says joining.
Huh?
All right, there's. Ask her to unmute and start video. Well, she's on mute and her video is off. Well, let's talk about, let's see if she can't click different things and come to the right thing, because I'm not sure what to tell her to push. But Linda is here. But for our waving hands in clouds, following our single whip, we switch to where our right hand is cross body and we turn our torso. Switch our hands, turn our torso. So our hands are moving at the end or on the side, then our bodies are taking them for a ride. We switch our hands and we turn, switch, turn. You feel that as you go side to side? Where it's a torso move. So as you go side to side, if you really engage the muscles in your stomach, then that's going to help strengthen those and that supports your core better. So engaging your stomach muscles as you go side to side, as if your belly button has a special power, pushing from side to side. So I just did a bunch of them in a row, but we do 6. And I tell you, last week after doing this class and counting to 6, I started counting 6 for my stand-up classes, and it has been so much more helpful for me to keep up with how many more I need to do, because there are 6. But we're originally taught 3, but it's 3 meaning 1 each way. And I felt like I never knew how many I had done. All right. So after we do our 6, we come to the middle for open and close. Then we single whip again. Push, turn, separate, this time following our right hand. Come down, switch, go to the left, switch to the right, That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and back to the middle for open and close. Here, let's do it all again from the top and commence. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Remember 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. To the middle, open and close. Single whip, push, turn, separate. Waving hands in clouds. Open and close. Close it out. How was that?
It's fine.
Okay.
It's fine.
What you doing with your legs? Are you engaging them or are they just sitting on the floor?
Well, I push one up and the one back.
That's great.
Like that. Yeah.
That's awesome because that's next level to be able to do feet stuff and all your hand stuff. So, you know, sometimes you might give those legs a break because I know it does really wear those legs out, but that is how you get them stronger. So let's do it again from the top. Commence up, down, in, up, out, back in, open and close. Single whip, push, turn, separate. Following that left hand. Waving hands in clouds, switch. There's 1, switch, 2, switch, 3, switch, 4, switch, 5, switch, 6, and to the middle for open and close.
Yeah,
Single whip, push, turn, separate, following your left or your right hand this time. Switch, waving hands in clouds, turn, switch, turn. Open and close. Close it out. All right, this time let's do it and I'll just call out the names of the movements. And commence. Open and close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Single whip. Waving hands in clouds. Open, close. Close it out. All right, let's do it again. This time I won't say anything. We'll just go through the movements and commence. Easier and better each time you do it. Do it again and commence.
Okay.
Being able to do it quietly, it really allows you to experience Jing, or the mental quietness. Focusing on that breath and just really going through those movements. Do you have any questions, Miss Ruth Ann?
No, no.
Okay.
I just
All
got
right.
to get it.
So you can practice with pushing your feet into the floor throughout, or not. Let's do it another time and commence. One last time, and then we'll cool down and commence.
You see somebody protect it. You see somebody protect it, but try to like you will pay it.
I do real good about pushing my feet into the floor until I get to waving hands in clouds. And then I'm so worried about counting to 6, I think I forget I even have legs. Y'all have really challenged me by wanting to do seated. It is so difficult for me. So many people think, oh, doing seated, that's the easy way. But it is so difficult for me to keep up and to remember to engage my legs. When I'm standing, it's easy for me to remember to step and switch and shift and turn. You know, it's easy for me to put movements together with the leg movements. And when I'm seated, it's like I forget I have legs at one point. So y'all challenged me. Let's give ourselves a nice fist massage, breaking up any lactic acid that may make us sore.
Okay.
Now we're going to create tension, gather that tension, and let it go. Gather and release. We don't want to carry tension. Tension causes pain. Gather and then let it go. Let's breathe. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. One more. And we always end with our right fist representing our strength, our left fingers together representing our friendship, our thumb in representing humility. So strength, friendship, and humility, we put those together, and in mutual respect, we say namaste.
Namaste. All right.
So I hope that y'all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope it's easy. I hope it's full with everybody being in a good mood and all the food is delicious and you just really enjoy the company.
Okay, and you have a good, happy Thanksgiving as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Miss Ruth Ann, and I'll see you next Tuesday, okay?
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Gotta stop the recording.